Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Peteonretreat. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 things you need to know about Thailand before you come here. And this doesn't matter if you're moving out here or coming on vacation. These are 10 things you really need to know. Item number one is about using the ATMs here. Of course, you're going to need money to do anything in Thailand, well, almost anything, but there's something you should know about the ATMs. For the most part, they're going to work just like they do in your home country, but you're going to be withdrawing from your home bank accounts, so there's usually going to be some type of conversion involved, right? Many ATMs will ask you towards the end of the transaction if you want to accept with currency conversion. Don't hit yes. Never hit yes. Never accept with currency conversion. This is something that most of the ATMs do out here just to make a bit more money off of you. This rate is always going to be worse than whatever rate your bank at home is going to give you. So if you don't like just throwing away money, then never accept with conversion. Item number two, don't carry your passport with you. Yeah, I know you're supposed to be carrying your passport with you whenever you're traveling abroad, and I'm sure it's the law in Thailand, but really 99% of the time, a digital copy of it, just a photo of it on your phone is going to suffice. A hot tip is take a picture of your information page in your passport as well as your entry stamp, and then give them the favorites tag on your phone. That way, no matter how many photos you take on your wonderful vacation or of your incredible life living out here, you'll be able to access them quickly through the favorites. Another thing you could do is go to like a photocopy place. There's these Kodak stores all over Pattaya and plenty of other stores that do it too. Just take a photocopy of your passport with you. I keep a photocopy of my passport in my wallet along with emergency contact phone numbers and my insurance information, all there on one page. A lot of these Kodak shops and photo service shops have a service where they'll even make a wallet-sized card, like a driver's license sized card of a laminated version of your passport and entry stamp. But Pete, why shouldn't I carry my passport with me? To me, the risk of losing it just isn't worth it. Sure, you may not lose it, but if you do, it's just going to ruin your vacation and be a headache to replace. Imagine trying to fly out of Thailand without a passport. I don't think it's going to happen. Item number three, check your bar bin every time it comes out. Now, if you don't know what a bar bin is, most of the bars here in Pattaya and all over Thailand and a lot of the restaurants are going to put like a little cup on your table, and anytime you order something, they're going to stick a ticket in there. Now, it doesn't happen often, but it absolutely happens that you get overcharged. They might stick an extra ticket in, they might write an extra drink on your ticket. You want to look at it every time it comes out just to make sure that's not happening, but also just the practice of looking at it, even if you aren't really keeping track, will make anybody that wants to rip you off think twice about doing so. I don't tend to really look at it to make sure that it's not being padded, but I like to make sure that it looks like I'm looking at it to make sure it's not being padded, if that makes sense. Item number four, and I think everybody already knows this, but get a Thai SIM card. Personally, when I'm traveling abroad, I like to get a SIM card for whatever country I'm going to as soon as I arrive. The international airports here in Thailand all have plenty of options. I went with AIS when I first arrived because I had heard good things about it. I'll put up the current prices for AIS at Suvarnabhumi Airport right here. Yeah, you might be able to find a cheaper deal if you leave the airport, but I just like the security of having a working mobile device and GPS unit on me immediately when I leave the airport. Now, this next point might seem a little illogical and it might even be debatable, but it's commonly stated that you should not get involved or help out if you see somebody in a road accident. I've heard from many different sources that if you help in a road accident and something bad happens to the accident victim, you could be held liable. It might be a scare tactic, but I've even heard you might go to jail if that person dies. Now, that might be an exaggeration or like a worst possible outcome, but I don't know about you. I don't want to go to jail in Thailand. One of my favorite YouTubers out here, Gone Adrift, really cool guy. He did a whole video on it, and I'll put a link in the description below. Now, what's interesting is I just got a CPR certification out here in Thailand, and my friend who had helped in an accident just the week before asked about the liability issues with helping in an accident. Our CPR instructor said, yeah, that's kind of commonly said, but there really isn't much truth to it. And as far as applying CPR goes, our certification should be enough to prevent any type of lawsuits or any results from us doing something wrong. Item number 6 is download the Bolt app. If you don't already know, Bolt is probably the most common rideshare app out here. Bolt is incredibly cheap. It cost me like 100 baht to go from this beautiful area of Pratumnak into the city. I would say download the app and set it up as soon as you have your Thai SIM card. You do need a Thai number to set up the service here. There's some other rideshare options here too, like Grab, which I believe is a little more expensive than Bolt currently, and the new kid on the block, Maxim, which I believe is a bit cheaper than Bolt currently. You also want to get Grab or Food Panda if you want to have any food delivered to your room. Note that the delivery charge is usually very minimal, but the menu price for delivery service at restaurants is often more expensive because services like Grab take up to 30% of what they charge the customer. If you really want to support a restaurant, go out and go to that restaurant, but we all understand sometimes we're lazy, sometimes we're hungover, sometimes it's storming, but yeah. Download Bolt, consider downloading Grab, Maxim, check them all out, but Bolt's very reliable. This next point's another one that's probably obvious to most people and wouldn't even be a concern to most rational people, but when you come here, don't fight. If you get into a fight here, you are almost 99%, if not 100% going to jail. Did you come to Thailand to go to jail? No, I didn't think so. I didn't come here to go to jail either. I don't think most of the people that get into fights here in Thailand come here intentionally wanting to get into a fight, and I'm sure a lot of the time alcohol's involved, but I think it's a good idea just to put that in your head. Don't fight. Nothing good's going to come from it. If you get in a fight with a Thai person, there's other Thai people around, they're all likely going to beat you up. That goes for ladyboys too. There's plenty of stories of a bunch of ladyboys whipping on some foreigner, and that foreigner probably deserved it. Okay, maybe you're in a bar and something happens. Someone bumps into you. Someone accidentally pours a drink on you. Somebody's just being stupid and trying to ruffle your feathers and get you to fight. Be the better man and don't get into a fight. Don't ruin your vacation. Don't ruin your good life out here. On a worst case scenario, you could accidentally really hurt somebody and do serious jail time because of it. Maybe the situation isn't that bad, but your fight just gets you barred from coming into the country for 10 years. I know alcohol mixed with egos is a dangerous thing. Maybe you thought somebody was looking at your girlfriend. Whatever the reason, there's no excuse for violence. If you really want to fight, this is the land of Muay Thai. So sign up for some Muay Thai lessons or go to a gym and take it out the legal way. Number 8's a point that you've likely already heard, but I want to stress it anyway, and that's don't drink the water. Something interesting to know is that most of the tap water here actually goes into the system safe. It's processed and cleaned, but it's the lack of care on all these old pipes and infrastructures where things often go wrong. Plenty of people actually drink the tap water when they come out here, but water is so cheap. I mean, it's like $1 for a gallon of water here. There's just no reason to risk it. How extreme should you take this rule? That's going to be up to you. I know plenty of people that don't use the tap water for brushing their teeth. I know people that do. I usually use bottled water, or at least machine water from one of these machines on the street that cleans your water for you when I brush my teeth, but I don't always. But Pete, what do you mean water machine? So all around Thailand, you're going to find water machines like this one. They're spread throughout the neighborhood. Basically, you could just buy filtered water. You bring your own bottle. This one right here is reverse osmosis. I think that's what most of them are. They tend to be about a baht a liter, or like 4 or 5 baht for like a gallon of water. I used to use this particular machine here for my drinking water all the time, but then I started hearing that a lot of the minerals are removed, so I started buying bottled water for drinking, but I still use the machine water for cooking and for making my coffee and for brushing my teeth, at least most days. Now, it's often debated how clean the water is out of these machines, and it probably varies a lot from machine to machine, which is why I currently just use the machine that's available in our condo. We just feel confident that it's probably kept up as much, if not better, than the runs that are spread all over the neighborhood. Our condo's new, and we use the tap water to wash all of our produce. I've never been sick from it. I've been here 2 years. That doesn't mean it can't happen though. Another thing to note is that you don't have to be afraid of the ice in your water at a restaurant. Ice trucks drive around the city all the time delivering fresh ice made from purified water. So your chances of getting sick from the ice in your drink are a lot less than you getting sick from the person sitting next to you at the bar. If you do happen to get sick from drinking the water, or just from eating something bad, or eating something that just doesn't agree with your stomach, or for any other reason, that brings us to point number 9. The pharmacies here are super cool. Most of the employees in the pharmacy are going to speak pretty good English, or you could use Google Translate. You could also show them pictures of what you want to looking for. A big difference with Thailand compared to many countries, and especially my home country of the US, is that you can get a lot of medications and drugs in pharmacies without a prescription. The pharmacy techs here are very well versed in what they carry and how to treat certain ailments, and like no matter what you come down with, unless it's one of those rare 1 in 10,000 type bacteria infections, they're going to know how to treat it. They're also going to be really affordable. It's hard to leave a pharmacy spending more than $20 or $30 US. Another difference with the pharmacies here is that you don't have to buy a full box or a full bottle of any medication you're buying. Take Advil, for example. Advil usually comes in a box of, I don't know, 50 or so. Here in Thailand, it's common for the pharmacy to open up the box and just sell you sheet by sheet of Advil, so like 10 pills at a time. Note, you can't get Advil at 7-Eleven, but you could get Tylenol. I'm not sure exactly why. All right, you made it this far. It's time for point number 10, the one that might save your vacation. Thailand has some interesting alcohol laws. You can only buy alcohol in a 7-Eleven or a grocery store from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then from 5 p.m. to midnight. That's it. It's very restrictive. Sure, you could go to a bar and buy alcohol just about any time, but if you're trying to, I don't know, have a beer on the street or make cocktails at home, you do need to plan ahead. Another big one to note about alcohol, especially if you're coming here on vacation, is that Thailand has many dry holidays where the bars are closed and you can't legally buy a drink anywhere. As far as Pattaya goes, I've experienced firsthand that you could just take a ferry and go to Koh Larn because they ignore the laws out there. At least that's my experience. If drinking alcohol is a big part of your vacation plan when you come out here, make sure you look to see if there's any holidays that are going to happen while you're out here. This will give you time to plan ahead in case there is one, and you could buy alcohol from 7-Eleven during the hours I said earlier.